Thank you. The stability and safety of Jordan is critically important to the stability of the region. The kingdom has every confidence that the Jordanian authorities, under the leadership of His Majesty King Abdullah, will work to ensure the continuing stability of Jordan. We are steadfast in our support for His Majesty and the people of Jordan in their efforts to ensure stability and security both for Jordan and for the region.
There, in what the accusations by Jordan, there are allegations that foreign parties, as I mentioned, but even a foreign intelligence agency were involved. Do you also see a foreign hand between what is just unfolding in Jordan?
This is a Jordanian internal matter, and I would leave the answer to these questions to the Jordanian authorities.
But would that be a worrisome development if some foreign countries were meddling in Jordan's affairs?
Of course, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has a strong policy rejecting any interference in the domestic affairs of states, and we would, of course, reject that in the case of Jordan as well. And as I said, we stand fully with the with the Kingdom of Jordan and the authorities there in all the efforts they are taking to secure their country.
I want to turn to Iran. This week, Iran with Europe and the United States, they're scheduled to meet in Vienna to begin talks to find a way to restore the 2015 nuclear deal. Saudi Arabia did not like that deal very much because it didn't put strong enough limits on Iran. Are you concerned that the same thing will happen if those negotiations bear fruit?
We have heard both from our partners in the United States and in Europe that they understand the deficiencies with the deal and that they are eager to address the broad spectrum of concerns related to Iran, both in its nuclear proliferation but also in its regional activity. So we are confident that the international community will work hard to ensure that the deficiencies in the JCPOA are eventually addressed and that they will also work to address the regional instability that is caused by Iran's activity.
Right. I mean, to be more precise, do you trust that Iran's missile capabilities and its support for a number of groups in the region will be part of a negotiation and not just part of a discussion with no clear results on that end?
What we hear from our partners is that they understand that it's critical that we address these concerns, and we are confident that they will work with us and with the countries in the region to address our concerns related to the Iranian missile program and also its destabilizing activity in the region. We think that is absolutely critical in order for us to have a safe and secure region going forward.
Right. Will you accept to give full access to the Hodeidah harbor and the Sana'a airport? The Houthis are saying you've not been doing this. The UN has been saying you've not allowed aids and fuel to come in. Are you ready to take a gesture and facilitate that?
So as part of the initiative, the opening of Sana'a airport to various international destinations has been put forward. And as regards Hodeidah, the port is open, has been open. In the last 90 days, 67 ships have docked in Hodeidah, including now fuel ships. The issue of fuel ships is connected to an agreement between the Houthis and the government of Yemen under the supervision of the United Nations, under which the Houthis agreed that tax revenues from fuel ships will be used to fund civil service salaries and other needs of the Yemeni population. Unfortunately, the Houthis continue to divert those funds to use in their war effort and their attacks on the city of Ma'rib and elsewhere. And therefore, this is an issue that must be resolved through application of the UN-mandated mechanism that is agreed under the Stockholm framework. If the Houthis stick to that agreement, then access for fuel ships to Hodeidah will continue. Our belief is that the government of Yemen will continue to grant the necessary permissions for ships to enter Hodeidah while this agreement is in place.
So you believe a breakthrough is indeed possible?
With good intention, there is always the possibility of a breakthrough.
I want to get to the U.S. administration. Was it a mistake for the Biden administration to delist, quote unquote, the Houthis from the list of terrorist groups because it might have emboldened them?
Certainly, we believe that the Houthis qualify under any definition as a terrorist organization. They have continued to attack civilian targets both in the kingdom and in Yemen. They have continued to use violence and terror to further their political aims and to impose their will on the people of Yemen. Therefore, we believe firmly that they deserve that designation. We also think that the lifting of the designation has potentially emboldened them. We have seen an uptick in attacks and other activities. So we think
it was a mistake.
It's important that we keep. I think the US administration had a very strong motivation to facilitate humanitarian aid. We believe it would have been possible to continue to facilitate that humanitarian aid flow without necessarily lifting that designation, but we will agree to disagree on that point. However, what's now important is that we all work together to find a path to a ceasefire and a political process and a political dialogue among the parties of Yemen.